Conservative Scott Jennings has been putting on a clinic at CNN. Let's take a look.
Scott Jennings on CNN is good.
Yeah.
He's like,
oh my God, he's great.
he's great.
Can we be real for a moment that Doge is not about cutting money, right? It's not about spending. It's about shrinking government so that it'll be too small to stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? You're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because he is shredding the Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
And no matter who was in office, I'm going to hold them accountable. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at all
said. We
what I
said they are
Yeah, it is.
upholding the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, and at times
How
that we
is
have
Trump
What does that even mean, though?
seen-
shredding the Constitution?
My God, he's like, should
I
we go
mean,
to
seriously,
He
do we
doesn't
have to
believe in
give
the
you a
balance of
civics
power.
lesson that we have?
I don't know.
that we've
Is that an answer? Their answer there was just like, what do you mean? Are you serious? We have to explain it?
We put all power in the executive
How is
branch.
holding the
the
government-
legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're
Yes.
silencing
Commander
media.
in chief,
This
head
is
of the
what you
military.
do
It's a
in a
great side of
dictatorship.
Are
This
you
is not.
suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I am suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now, you're
Wait,
gaslighting.
he's gonna
but when we
put-
get to the actual,
He's
rubber of the
He's
road, it will
gaslighting.
be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
The president is in charge of the military. That is how it works.
He was elected president. We, according to the Constitution, vest all executive authority in a president. And the concept that the military should be an independent agency or that the bureaucracy should resist the political leadership of this government is extraordinarily dangerous.
That's what we said. That's a straw
not what
man.
we
It's
said.
That's
ridiculous.
literally not what we said.
I'm just repeating back to you your own
I
words.
did not.
Then what did you say? Make it clear. I guess we'll move on, but Scott Jennings is the second coming of Kayleigh McEnany. Remember, like the former White House press secretary? She used to be the person on CNN just dismantling all the leftist arguments. I think this is my favorite clip. Check it out.
It's abusive.
random.
It's abusive to
Yes,
get an email?
I do. I do think that.
abusive
I
to
think
get
the
a
way that
threatening
they
email.
are. Yeah, I
Why?
think the way that
Why?
they are treating them.
Why? How is this?
Why?
How is this abusive?
Scott,
What did you do last week? That's abusive. What do people do at their jobs? Like, don't you do something like that either every week or literally every day? You tell somebody, some superior, hey, I did this week, today, or whatever.
I've gotten an email from someone that said, you
Yeah, I
better
will-
do this or else you're going to resign.
Yeah, it's
From
called
someone-
having a
from
boss in the
someone
private
who's not
sector.
from someone who's not your boss.
The White House is every federal worker's boss. That's number one.
Elon
Number
Musk
two,
is not anybody's
But
Number
boss.
two-
Not even our
Number
legal
two-
department.
Scott, how is Elon going to evaluate? I mean, how is he going to evaluate the work of thousands of federal employees when he has no idea what
He's
they do?
not. The test was, are you even paying attention to your email? Are you even at your
some
terminal?
federal workers, he sent it on a weekend. Some federal workers do not have access to their emails on the weekends. They just don't.
Did they go to work today? I mean, look, the amount of
Then they answer it on Monday. Oh, like the left wing is so out of ideas. I made the point in other videos, the left wing should come up with something way better than they are right now.
outrage, melting down, and sort of outpouring of emotion over this ought to tell you everything you need to know. We had a lady on CNN today, a supposed federal worker, who said she was infuriated by getting this email. She had time to go on CNN, but she didn't have time to send a 30-second email saying, well, here's what I was working on last week. This is what people in the private sector have come to hate.
Think about if you're watching this, like your job, or maybe you're in school, or maybe even you're retired. How easy would it be, though, to answer what you did last week? I did this, I checked this, I finished this project, I started working on this project, I talked to this person about that deal. It would be so easy. Like, people are saying 5 minutes that it would take. That email might actually take you 10 seconds, because that should be probably on your mind anyway. Oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, done.
Hate about how they view the public sector. And I think there's a great many very dedicated public servants. But you said, it's about control. Yes, it's about control, and it's about finding out who is actually at their job working and who isn't, and do we need all these people?
Which, by the way, I'll move on to the next clip. I agree with that point. I don't think it is, but I hope it doesn't. This whole thing doesn't get swept up in like every federal worker, because there's a ton. Some of them would be doing a good job. Some of them would work hard.
Instead, we are heading towards a potential government shutdown that will only hurt the American people.
It's amazing to me, by the way, we're having this debate, because Joe Biden was president for 4 years and ran the country off into the ditch, and that's why Kamala Harris lost the election. And now Donald Trump's been president for about 5 minutes, and Democrats are like, well, my gosh, why isn't somebody fixing all the problems we caused? I just don't think voters are that silly, really. I mean, I think they take a longer view of this. His report card will ultimately come in the midterms, which isn't until next year. Until then, he's got to get the Republicans in Congress to come along with him on this reconciliation plan, on extending and making permanent the tax cuts. And then the American people are going to give it a chance to work. But the guy took office in January, and he's trying to unravel a mess that was 4 years in the making. I think he's got a little more leash than maybe you're giving him credit for.
Facts. And again, like I said, it feels like deja vu watching CNN. This is just like Kayleigh McEnany back in 16 or 17.
Who was in charge of crowd last night should lose their job.
May I ask you a question?
And wait a minute. No. You can't ask me a question.
Because you can't answer the question.
Oh, you can't ask me a question, honey. I can't answer, so don't even try.
What attracted the father of the Orlando terrorist to your candidate?
He's a mentally ill individual
Oh,
who
that's
ran
what
for
attracted
president.
him. I get it.
Pardon me?
What attracted him to your candidate? And your answer was he's mentally ill.
His mentor. Stop smiling and smirking like it's a funny thing.
Again, it's crazy. It's like CNN went through Kayleigh McEnany dismantling all these leftist takes, and then she just passed the baton to Scott Jennings. I mean, there was a period in the middle there where I don't know who was like taking charge. I didn't watch CNN that much really between 2018 to maybe 2023, but it feels like deja vu. Okay, to wrap it up, I'm going to play one more clip from Scott Jennings. This one's actually shortly before the election, but it's a great one.
Everybody seems to be worried about J.D. Vance and dishonesty, or Donald Trump and dishonesty. I never hear the same concern about Harris and the lies that she tells about Trump, or in Walz himself, who gave the most disastrous response to a question about his own dishonesty about being in Tiananmen Square that I've ever heard.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
In a debate, he also did the same thing with Dana Bash when questioned about dishonesty a couple of months ago. And effectively what he has said is, sorry, guys, I'm too dumb to tell the truth. I mean, he called himself a knucklehead. I have bad grammar.
I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times.
This is a guy who holds himself up to be a school teacher and a coach. Is that the life lesson he's giving the kids that are under his care? Hey, you can lie, and then you can just kind of slough it off as being, too dumb to tell the truth. I think we spend 99% of our time going down rabbit holes about.
So with that said, I'll finish the video. I have a feeling this will not be the last time on this channel that we cover Scott Jennings over at CNN. But with that said, thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you in the next video.